Hey guys, what's going on? I'm BMOC. You're now tuned into BMOCTV. So today I want to talk about the top 15 greatest female MCs of all time. Now before I get into this list, I just want to say that I've done extensive research going back through the game tapes, looking at the stats and sales, the impact, the legacy, style, everything. It would have been so much easier to make a list based upon who I listen to, but that wouldn't be fair based upon the impact and legacy of some of these artists. I also want to shout out the other ladies who didn't make this list. Some would be in the 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 category, but not 15. But again, all great ladies in their own right. So shout out to Charlotte Baltimore, Mia X, Diamond and Princess from Crime Mob, Shawna, Khia, Lady Luck, Mystic, Miss J, Heather B, Gangsta Boo, Lady of Rage, Monie Love, Amil, Jackie O, Rasheeda, Angie Martinez, Vita, Azalea Banks, Iggy Izalea, Little Mama, YoYo, Sonja Blade, and Queen Pen. I also gotta give honorable mention to Salt and Pepper. I didn't put them on this list because they are a duo. However, if it wasn't for Salt and Pepper, this list probably wouldn't even exist. Alright, so let's get into it. Let's break it down. So coming in at 15, it actually was a tie. I know I'm starting off with breaking my own rules, but every day I go back and forth between these two ladies. I can't figure out who should be 15 and who should be like 16, so I'm gonna just put them as a tie for this list. And that goes to Grae and Rapsody. And it's kind of funny that they're both tied because both of them have like similar markets. They've both been really big underground, with Grae being under Talib Kweli and Rapsody being under Knife Wonder. I love Grae because she gives me that conscious topics, but also has the double syllable flow. The beat selection is crazy. If you listen to Genius, actually produced by Knife Wonder, it was amazing album from top to bottom. I think that album alone would put her on this list. But also with Rapsody, also using, Knife Wonder and her mixtape, She Got Game, which is phenomenal. Her standout verse now with Kendrick on Kendrick's To Pimp a Butterfly. I mean, her buzz is only going to increase after this. So it's really, really tough. Right now, I want to say Rapsody just a little higher on the skill level, but Grae is dope. Tomorrow I may change my mind and say Grae has a higher skill level. So these ladies to me are like deadlocked for a tie. So number 15, Grae and Rapsody. So number 14 goes to Roxanne! Yeah, that was a horrible beatbox, I know. So Roxanne Shante started rapping when she was 14 years old. At 14. Like, but some people are figuring out their lives. She already was starting a rap career. Legend has it that her first biggest song, Roxanne's Revenge, she actually freestyled off the top of her head, didn't write any of the lyrics down. And actually, Roxanne's Revenge was the first female battle record on radio. So shout out to Queen of the Ring and King of the Dot, URL, all those battle leagues. But Roxanne Shante is almost like the forefather, or should I say the foremother, foresister of female battle rap. Alright, so number 13 goes to Lisa Left Eye Lopez. Now yes, Left Eye's in a group, but she was the only female MC of that group, which is why she's on this list. Left Eye's boldness and her delivery really stood out to me. One of my favorite verses from her is actually in the Donnell Jones You Know What's Up remix, where she says, "Don't let another one get near me if you want to be true, and show me that nobody else can do it better than you. So if you're serious, I'm curious to see what you got, but love is furious, cause I believe in blowing up spots." Like, just the serious, curious, the extra, the syllables, and the, you know what I'm talking about. She also has standout verses on Not Tonight, the Little Kim record, Scrubs remix. Just anytime there was a chance for Left Eye to really like spit her bars, she always was a standout part of the song. She did have one solo album called Supernova, which really wasn't promoted that well, so it didn't sell as well commercially. But her most notable verses came from obviously TLC songs and her features. So for that number 12 spot, I gotta give that to Trina. Now a lot of people are gonna say, why is Trina on this list? She's not one of the most lyrical of the bunch. I mean, when you think about it from a commercial standpoint, Trina probably is the biggest Southern female MC of all time. And she's been the most consistent and the most active. She's dropped albums from 2000 to 2010. That's a full decade of albums and songs from Trina. She's worked with Kanye West, to Lady Gaga. She even put Rick Ross on his first radio song called Told Y'all. So again, number 12 goes to Trina. So number 11 goes to one of my personal favorites. If this was my personal list, I would have put her probably in the top 5, but just going off the stats and going off the legacy, I'm putting her at number 11. So number 11 goes to Raw Digga, aka Digga, aka Harriet Thugman, aka Dirty Harriet. If you had to make a list of like the top 5 best female rap albums, Raw Digga's debut, Dirty Harriet, would definitely have to make that list. She was the first lady of Busta Rhymes' Flip Mode Squad, which she was obviously the standout, and simultaneously was the first lady of the Outsiders that had Young Z, a very legendary New Jersey crew. In fact, Eminem in his earlier days was affiliated with the Outsiders. Okay, so for those who are still with me, who haven't clicked off the video, let's get into top 10. Number 10 goes to Remy Ma, the first lady of Terror Squad. In terms of just pure bars, like metaphors and punchlines, Remy Ma is like on the top of female MCs. Especially when she first came out. Most of the songs that she was featured on, she had the best verse, from Lean Back to the Annie Up remix. Her debut album, There's Something About Remy, was deemed a classic. You know, Whatever, Conceited. She had those big radio songs matched with really great lyricism. I think what kind of hurt Remy, as far as not being higher on the list, was that she went to jail back in 2007 and she just was released recently, like the last year or so. So that big gap of not having music out really hurt her legacy. But when you talk about the greatest of all time, I definitely think she needs to be in the top 10. So number 9 goes to the Brat-a-tat-tat, the Brat. Now the Brat is the first female MC. First female MC to go platinum off a solo album. Even Jermaine Dupri was on a podcast last year, 2014, talking about Biggie wanting to really work with the Brat because he was so impressed by the success from her debut album. You also have to give her props for really increasing the profile of Jermaine Dupri. Before her, he had worked with Criss Cross, but after her success, he was able to build her and Escape, Jagged Edge, Bow Wow, you know, really cement his legacy. So at number 8, I'm giving that spot to Foxy Brown. Who else on this list can say that they started their career off rhyming on Jay-Z's first commercial hit, which was Ain't No, and was in a group with Nas called The Firm? That's starting your career off with 2 future icons of the game. And Foxy had some of her own big hits, you know, with Touch Me, Tease Me, I'll Be, Bad Man Pajama, BK Anthem. Like, Foxy's style was ill. Or should I say ill nana. People also sleep on the fact that Foxy Brown had the first rap album to debut at number 1. So number 7 goes to the Pitbull in the Skirt, EVE, Eve. Eve, first lady of Rough Riders, over 15 million records sold. She won a Grammy with Blow Your Mind with Gwen Stefani, Who's That Girl, Love Is Blind, talking about domestic violence and relationships. She was able to be aggressive but also show that femininity. She was able to really represent for the females but also show that aggressive side that attracted the male listeners. In terms of her pen game, there's no question that she's one of the ladies who wrote all of her rhymes. Now in recent years, Eve hasn't been as active in the rap game as she once was. When you look at just her lyricism and just the commercial success that she's had during her run, to me, she'll always be in the top 10. Alright, so at number 6, I know this is going to be highly controversial, but I'm putting Lauryn Hill in that 6th spot. Now, the reason why I say this is highly controversial is because a lot of people have her at their number 1 spot for female MCs. And this is based off her standout work with the Fugees. She had the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. It almost did gold its first week. I think now it's like 8 times platinum. And that was a monster album, from doo-wop and the conscious lyricism to Everything Is Everything to X Factor. I mean, she was unstoppable. She was just a perfect blend of melody and conscious lyrics and a message and punchlines. Just dope. But I gotta put her at number 6 because we really only got one great solo rap album from Lauryn. And as much as she did with the Fugees, they really only had like a 4 or 5 year run. After her Unplugged album, she kind of fell completely off the map and really didn't give us that music that made us fall in love with her. If you were in middle school or high school when Lauryn was on top, she's always gonna be like your number 1 favorite female lyricist. But just looking at the entire span of female MCs, I gotta put her at number 6. So at number 5, another controversial pick goes to Nicki Minaj. Yes, I know I'm putting Nicki Minaj above Lauryn Hill. I'm very aware, but hear me out. If we're talking about the match of lyricism and commercial success on a consistent basis, you gotta give it up to Nicki. Nicki is the first female MC to have 7 songs, 7, on Billboard at the same exact time. She's also had the most songs charted ever on Billboard, meaning she's had the most singles, the most featured charting than anybody on this list or any female MC you can think of. And if you talk about album sales, Pink Friday was the 2nd highest selling female rap album behind Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. Also, Pink Friday stayed in the top 10 list on Billboard longer than any female rap album ever. And I know sales isn't the end-all be-all, but you have to factor them when you talk about the impact of an artist. One of Nicki's standout moments was when she was on Monster with Jay-Z, Kanye, and Rick Ross, and she had the best verse. And I definitely know the criticism about Nicki regarding sometimes the lyricism is questionable and the song's a little bit too pop. But if you dig into her catalog and even look back at her mixtape days, she has bars. Okay, so number 4 goes to the Queen Bee, Lil' Kim. Now, she was discovered by one of the greatest MCs of all time, Notorious B.I.G., and put her in the group Junior Mafia, which I think she was a standout in that clique. Her debut album, Hardcore, was the highest debut for a female MC back in '96. Now, there are several rumors that Biggie was ghostwriting for Lil' Kim when he was still alive, you know, writing her lyrics, writing her songs. But to me, critically, her best album was La Bella Mafia, which came out several years later after he had passed. Her boldness and the wigs and the furs, just being able to be relatable to the streets, but also be very fashionable, really influenced the game. If it wasn't for Lil' Kim, you wouldn't have a Nicki Minaj or some of the other female MCs that are on this list. Number 3 goes to a woman who's been in the game for 26 years, going all the way back to 1989, that goes to Queen Latifah. When you talk about Lauryn Hill, someone who's able to mix in poetry and singing in the streets, it's hard to imagine that she wasn't influenced somewhat by Queen Latifah. Ladies First, Just Another Day, UNITY, just so many different styles and perspectives, talking about domestic violence, relationship, love, what was going on in the hood. She was just so really relatable to what was going on in hip-hop. She was also very instrumental in the conscious group, the Native Tongue Posse, which included artists like The Tribe Called Quest, De La Soul, Jungle Brothers, Monie Love, just that staple of really lyrical MCs that had a message. Alright, now coming in at number 2, it's a hard choice because if this was my, again, who I listened to the most out of this list, she would probably be number 1. But if I'm basing it on all the legacies and the stats from all the other ladies, coming in at number 2 goes to Missy Elliott, VA 757, what's up? So Missy Elliott, I mean, what else could you really say about her that has not already been said? She's only released 6 albums, and all 6 have gone platinum. That makes her the only female on this list to have 6 platinum albums. Work It, Get Your Freak On, Sock It to Me, The Rain, Hot Boys, All on My Grill, She's a What, 1 Minute Man, just so many classic singles. Outside of her own solo career, she's helped produce and write for a lot of artists like, you know, Aaliyah, Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey, Janet Jackson, Fantasia, Tweet, Genuine, Jodeci, just the list goes on. And you gotta give her a lot of credit for putting on Timbaland, who's now one of the major producers of the game. Alright, so number 1 on this list goes to a person that you already guessed, but it is MC Lyte. MC Lyte is probably one of the most lyrical and definitely the most active female MC on this list. With her debut, Light as a Rock, she's the first female MC to drop a solo album ever. Keep On Keeping On, Cold Rocker Party, Ice Cream Dream, Roughneck, which actually made her the first Grammy-nominated female MC ever. And yeah, sure, you have other ladies on this list who have sold more than MC Lyte, who have had more commercial success, but without MC Lyte really breaking down those barriers and creating that lane, who knows what female hip-hop will be today. Whether it's Missy Elliott, Queen Latifah, Nicki Minaj, Trina, Rapsody, whoever, if you ask them who really that first hip-hop influence was for females, I would be surprised if they didn't say MC Lyte. So there it is, my top 15, well, /16 list of, again, the greatest female MCs I think of all time, just based on stats, based on legacy, consistency, commercial success, critical acclaim, just all that blended together. And I'm sure there are those out there who disagree with who's at number 8 or number 5, number 4, somebody who shouldn't even be on this list, whatever. But if you're really unbiased in any way and just kind of look at some of the facts, mixed in with some opinion obviously, and really just look at this list, even if you move around the numbers, it's going to be hard to really replace the 15 ladies on this list. So you tell me, put in the comments, who do you think should be on this list or off this list? Who's your top 5, your top 10, your top 15? Let me know your thoughts. So thanks again guys for watching. I post new videos every Tuesday and Wednesday on, you know, music discussions, music biz topics, relationship motivation, all that. youtube.com/BMOCTV. Please subscribe, or BMOC.TV. I'm BMOC. Peace.